Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here. Back again with another video. Back again with another episode of The Lakers Suck. No, I mean, the Lakers finally were eliminated from playoff contention. This was something that I've been talking about for the past few months on this channel. It was very apparent to me that this was a possibility, a strong possibility, especially if the Lakers continue to lose games in the fashion that they did. But it seems that everybody is shocked. I don't want to say shocked, maybe, but people are still surprised and they haven't processed that the Lakers are not going to make the playoffs. Um, as a Laker fan, I processed this months ago that they weren't going to make the playoffs. When everybody was saying that they weren't going to make it past the second round of the playoffs, I was saying they might not make the playoffs at all. When people were saying, maybe, they're if they're not careful enough, they're going to end up in the play-in. I was saying, you know, they probably won't make the playoffs, and that's a definite possibility if they continue to play poorly. And that's exactly what happened, right? The Lakers are the franchise is in uh, a state of turmoil once again, and we've seen this for the past 3-4 years, whatever. Having LeBron James and Anthony Davis, it really does cover up a lot of things that are not done right in the franchise as far as the front office goes, as far as ownership goes. It really erases a lot of mistakes, and you got to give those guys credit because the ownership mistakes, the GM mistakes, the basketball operations mistakes, those have not really been highlighted since LeBron and AD have been in town. But with the colossal failure that this season was, it's going to get highlighted, especially in the offseason. Like, things need to change in the organization, and people have said this for a long time. But the Rambuses are going to be there. The Rambuses have a certain amount of power, just by proxy of being friends with Jeannie Buss. They have not done anything. Kurt or Linda Rambus have not done um, anything of note in basketball. Kurt Rambis was he was a championship player, but as a coach, he wasn't good. And as a front office executive, he's not great either. Like, there's nothing that there's nothing that he can really put his hat on as far as things that he's accomplished in the league in the front office. So things have to change from the inside out before the Lakers can have any like real sustained success. Now it's just about getting stars. Maybe winning the championship, maybe here or there, but there's no consistency, and that is the most frustrating thing as a Laker fan for me. But hey, it is what it is. I seen this coming, and I'm not surprised. I'm way past that. I'm happy that we won't be seeing the Lakers struggle in the playoffs, because that was the thing that I didn't want to see. And if a team is playing this bad, and I think they're like 4-14, 4-15, or something like that since the All-Star break, nobody wants to see them in the playoffs. Get these dudes off the screen, and that's pretty much what happened now. Nobody's gonna be subjected to watching this shitty team play any playoff games or playing games. So any and all postseason is all done. Um, Another thing about this whole situation too is LeBron and the scoring title, his chase of the scoring title. And I haven't seen anybody talk about this, and I'm considering on doing a video just about this subject by itself alone, because I think it is worthy of some discussion. A lot of people, LeBron James has been sitting out. He's missed these last two games. The game, what was it, last Sunday, I believe, against the Nuggets. Well, the last three games, I want to say, or no, two, against the Nuggets and then against the Suns. Um, Now, people need to know why LeBron James is choosing to sit out. And I don't doubt that he probably has a sore ankle, whatever. I'm sure his body is not in the greatest shape right now. Considering um, how old he is and whatnot. But LeBron James is not playing, and it's pretty, to me. It's pretty obvious. But like I said, I haven't heard anybody talk about it. So the real reason why LeBron James is not playing is because LeBron does, at this point right now, he is the scoring. He's a scoring leader, NBA scoring leader for the season. But in order to qualify, to officially be recognized as a scoring champion of a season, a player must play in 58 of the 82 games. Now LeBron James is at 56 games. He's played 56 games this season. So LeBron needs to play 2 more games in order to qualify for the scoring title. I think the Lakers have 4 games left, I want to say. And LeBron's not going to play in any of those either. The reason why he's not going to play in any of those, because I kind of formulated this in my head, and it to me it made sense. So I kind of went back and I did a little research. If LeBron James was to win the scoring title, if he was to win the scoring title this season, he would be the first scoring champion to not make the playoffs in modern NBA history. Now, I went back and I fact checked this yesterday. I went all the way up as far as I could until I was able to, stop recognizing names, and I got all the way up to like the early 60s or something like that. Early 60s or late 50s or something when I stopped recognizing the names. And that is, that those are the 50s and 60s is in the NBA record books, but it's not really, looked at as far as modern NBA statistics because the game was completely different back then. So it is notated, but it's not, it's not really recognized and people don't really talk about it. So I'm just talking about as far as modern NBA history goes, LeBron James would have been the first scoring champion to not make the playoffs. And that is a direct hit to anybody's legacy. You don't want to be the first guy to do that because that lets everybody know that you you were interested in scoring, but your team was not. You were either on a really really bad team or your team underachieved, and we obviously know which one it is this year. The Lakers grossly underachieved this season. And LeBron has to bear the blame for a lot of it. He's the one of the highest paid players on the team. He's obviously the most tenured, and he's got the most gravitas. So he has to take a lot of responsibility for what happened this season. The Russell Westbrook trade, all of that stuff. Magic Johnson got on First Take the other day, and basically outed LeBron and AD because the Lakers had a legitimate chance to, well, not even a legitimate chance. DeMar DeRozan wanted to come back to the Lakers. It didn't work out. The Buddy Hield trade was in place, and the Lakers decided to go the other route with Russell Westbrook, and obviously this. At this point, we can say that was probably a mistake, especially considering the way that DeMar DeRozan has been playing in Chicago. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is right now. You can't go back and correct it, but I thought it was interesting that that Magic got up there on First Take and let everybody know what was going on. The other thing that's going to be really interesting to see this offseason is the future, Anthony Davis's future. What future does he have in LA if he has any left? He's clearly not the same player that he was 2 to 3 years ago. And, I think it would be foolish for anybody, for Laker fans, basketball fans in general, to think that Anthony Davis is going to, get back to form, get back to his prime form, because at this point right now, from what we can see from the past 2 seasons, he is leaving his prime. He's not in his prime anymore. And he's not an old guy at all. I don't even think he's 30 yet. But Anthony Davis is not prime Anthony Davis anymore. And obviously, you can chalk it up to injuries. You can chalk it up to, a lot of different things, right? The way that the team was constructed and all that stuff. But as far as Anthony Davis goes, he is not the dominating player that he was. Now, can he get back to that? I would hope so. As a Laker fan, I would hope so. But if we're going off of these past two seasons, the season last season after the bubble, and then this season, it's been injuries and it's been mediocre play by Anthony Davis. He has not been a dominating guy on the court at all whatsoever. And especially not to the point that the Lakers need him to be, to continue to compete for championships. Anthony Davis has not been that guy. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Lakers proceed this offseason. Um, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, you can't trade Anthony Davis because of whatever. And it's like, if the Lakers are going to hold on to him, then the team construction needs to be it needs to be in the team needs to be built not around him, but he has to have support. He has to have guys coming off the bench who can put up points, who can kind of play similarly to him. Obviously not as good, but you need more talent. You need younger guys that are going to be able to play a lot more minutes. You need guys who are going to play defense. You need guys who are going to rebound, who are going to do the extra things. You cannot at this point, it would be foolish for the Lakers to run this back with Russell Westbrook at $47 million next year. Just ugh, and Anthony Davis, injury prone Anthony Davis, and LeBron James, who's not in his prime anymore either, who is coming back for season 20. That would be very, very, very stupid. The Lakers, somebody has to go, and obviously, the Westbrook contract is not. Somebody might take it because it's expiring, and they might pay him to stay at home, but nobody is going to get in line to sign up for $47 million. The Lakers are going to have to attach a first round pick to that for any team to pick it up. So, um, you know, it, there's just a lot of questions going into the offseason. And there's going to be a lot of questions going into next season as well, too. Unless the Lakers clean house, unless they're able to move Russell Westbrook, unless they're able to move Anthony Davis, and start off with some younger guys, some younger blood, and try to continue to build with younger talent. There's going to be a lot of questions going forward, and I don't expect most of these questions to get answered. This offseason. These questions are going to linger until next season starts. But I mean, at this point, the Lakers kind of made their bed with this, and they kind of have to lay in it. You kind of just have to ride this out and hope for the best. There's not going to be a whole lot of cap flexibility, especially if you're not able to get rid of Russell Westbrook. So the Lakers got to try to do their best to build a winning team. Where they start, I have no idea. But that's what Rob Pelinka and those guys get paid the big bucks to do. They need to come up with a plan. They don't need to. I don't think it would be wise for them to get advice from LeBron and Anthony Davis this offseason. They did that last season, and it obviously ended up in the Lakers not making the playoffs this year. So the Lakers need to do what's best for them. They can consult with their star players, obviously, but to do everything that they want, I don't think that should be on the card, on the table this year. That should not be in the cards. So, but that's pretty much all I got, man. Just to wrap up on a very, very disappointing season that the Lakers had. Very disappointing. But it is what it is, right? This is the worst season, in my opinion, that the Lakers had. So, I'm sure it can get worse, but I'm not counting on it getting worse. But this is, for me, this is a low as a Laker fan. So hopefully we have something to cheer about next year. Hopefully we have something to cheer about in the summertime, in the off season, in free agency or whatever. But it is what it is at this point, and I really don't have anything else, regarding the Lakers. So that's pretty much it. Put a bow on it for this season. But that's all I got for this video, guys. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please give me a thumbs up. It helps my videos, hit the algorithm. Yeah, and hit the comment section. Let me know what you think about the Lakers going forward. Sound off. But that's all I got for this one, guys. Until next time, I will see you later.